Mercedes and Ferrari threaten to destroy F1 unless this happens. Haas warning Mercedes drivers have won the last 5 championships and are set for more years of domination alongside the most established brand, Ferrari. Haas team principal Steiner, who is trying to take the 2014 founded constructors to the next level, believes the sport risks losing fans unless a monetary level playing field is created. I think for Formula One, let's speak about that in general, I'd like to see a level playing field, and for Haas, exactly the same thing, during Barcelona pre-season testing. With a level playing field financially, if everyone can play with the same means, the same resources or a similar amount of money, it makes it more competitive with closer racing. That is what the fans want to see in my opinion. Despite the success each team strives for, Stein thinks that Ferrari and Mercedes chiefs are receptive to the idea. I think Massia, Binotto, and Toto Wolff are on the same page. They are getting there, he said. After a while, just dominating, you know that you are just destroying something. With plans for the next 2 seasons already in place, the Italian engineer hopes a cost cap structure can be set in place for the 2021 season. I think we are just discussing small details regarding the 2021 rules now to get there, but I think all the teams are on board, he said. I think the big teams will still have an advantage anyway because their infrastructures are so much more developed, but their advantage will be smaller. No constructor outside of Ferrari, Mercedes or Red Bull won a Grand Prix last season, and the excitement of lesser sides having a shot would revitalize the sport, in Steiner's eyes. What would be better than having an underdog winning a race? Like when Braun won the championship, I think that was fantastic for the sport. I would like to see that, and I think the fans want to see that, he said. Liberty are fully on board. For them to be successful they need to have eyeballs on the sport, and people at the track. That's how they get it, by having a good show as the Americans call it. If you put on a good show, people will watch us. We need something people want to watch, and if 20 people could theoretically have a chance to win, or at least get on the podium, that's a good show. Next news: Hamilton spits dummy out over Pirelli, revealing Mercedes' handicap. Hamilton was clearly unhappy with the team's progress over the last 2 testing periods in Barcelona, with the team apparently struggling to get to grips with their car whilst Ferrari stole the limelight with a quick and consistent car out of the box. Further, Hamilton was quoted as saying on racefans.net that, "I don't really have a lot of good things to say on that, so best I probably not say anything," and promptly went on to say more about how poor Pirelli are with their strategy for F1 2019. The British driver claiming that the Italian manufacturer should have just stuck with the overheating-proof, thin-gauge rubber made last year for France, Great Britain and Spain. Incidentally, the very same rubber that caused much wailing and gnashing of teeth from those who incorrectly thought that Pirelli were doing the tire-munching Mercedes a favor. TJ13 wrote late last week that it is believed that currently the Mercedes could be in the midfield on certain compounds during race simulations, and that their aero could well be interacting poorly with the new Pirelli compounds brought in for this year. Indeed, Hamilton put further fuel onto this fire by his comments made after the testing was done in Barcelona. The simplest thing they could have done was just bring that to this year. And they didn't, they brought something else. It's now understood that Pirelli did indeed simply bring the 2018 rubber to 2019, and that the only compounds that are completely new are the two very hardest and then the extreme soft compound. Incidentally, Mercedes did the most running on the two compounds from last year over the last few sessions of testing, clearly at home on those C3 and C2 rubbers. Pirelli boss Mario Isola clarifies what's occurred with the new tire range for 2019, saying the 2019 tires are with a reduced tread gauge, the same as the said 3 races last year that Hamilton was asking for. That is the same solution that we implemented in 3 races last year. So this is an advantage that all the drivers should feel, says Isola, so the Italian is befuddled as to why Hamilton is complaining. I can't understand if this opinion is particularly focused on C1, C2 or C5. They are new, but if we consider C3 and C4 they use a lot during these 3 sessions, they are the same soft and ultra soft from last year. I need to speak to him and understand better in detail which is the reason why he is not happy, concludes the Pirelli boss. The fact of the matter is that Mercedes are struggling more at this winter test than they have before. And this is a little unusual for the most dominant team in the sport's history. They continue to demonstrate an apparent handicap of eating Pirellis for lunch if unchecked. A trait from the Brawn days of 2012, soon after Pirelli came on board with their high degradation compounds. At present, it's clear that the cool conditions and the resultant cold graining caused by the thin gauge, anti-overheating rubber, is not giving Mercedes the data they need at this early stage. Obviously a team with the resources like Mercedes will come good again once the season starts. We'll most definitely see them challenge for wins and probably the titles. But this winter of discontent will have given the Italian Ferrari team a possible decisive head start in the coming championship battle. And Hamilton knows it. Next news: former Ferrari driver warns Scuderia about Red Bull Honda's competitiveness. The Ferrari might be looking stronger after the winter test in Barcelona. But former Scuderia racer Gino Alesi believes the Italians will struggle during 2019. Alesi insists the RB15 will be much more competitive because of Red Bull's new relationship with Honda. The new Red Bull Honda will be very competitive. I also think that Renault has achieved some good things with Ricciardo and that Kimi and Antonio can perform well with Alfa Romeo. Of course, Mercedes will also be strong, but Ferrari seems to be a bit stronger than at the beginning of last season, Alesi tells Radio Sportiva. Let's not forget that Mercedes actually drove 2 totally different cars in Barcelona. That is usually not a good sign since the original plan did not deliver what was on paper. Ferrari, on the other hand, built on the fast car and can, therefore, continue to develop quietly. It's been all change at Ferrari during the winter. Mattia Binotto comes in as their new technical director, while Charles Leclerc moves over and offers up a different driver perspective. Alesi is confident Leclerc will play second fiddle to the more experienced Sebastian Vettel. I have no doubt that Vettel is preferred and Leclerc plays second violin. But still, I think it will be very exciting between the two. The plan seems to me that Vettel must be first and Leclerc just second, but who knows? The season is long with 21 races. Vettel has at least everything to grab the title, so let's see what happens in Melbourne, he added. Next news: Ferrari changes official name and drops Mission Winnow. Ferrari have changed its name and removed Philip Morris International (PMI) brand Mission Winnow from its official name in the process. The FIA have posted an official list of the Formula One teams' names, and the side were formerly officially known as Scuderia Ferrari Mission Winnow but have now changed to just Scuderia Ferrari. PMI is a tobacco producer and it has been a long-standing sponsor of the Italian Giants, but it has previously denied the intent to try and promote its tobacco products to fans. There have been some legal complications coming out of Australia, where the first weekend of Formula One action will commence in about 2 weeks' time. With the Mission Winnow logo featuring heavily on the livery of the team's 2019 car, the sponsor has now seemingly been dropped from Scuderia. Likewise, last month McLaren announced a new sponsorship contract with tobacco producer British American Tobacco, with its campaign called A Better Tomorrow appearing on the side's MCL34. But the team have entered as McLaren F1 team, similarly to what Ferrari have now replicated. Thank you for watching the video. Be sure to share and subscribe to your channel to get the latest sports news around the world. Wish health and success. Goodbye.